Flashpoint NRB special. I don't know what NRB sounds. National Religious Bureau special. Whatever. Will the American church wake up? With Hanky Cooney and Gene the Jesus Machine and our old friend Mike Pillow. Whew.
Coming to you live from Grapevine, Texas. This is the National Religious Broadcasters State.
Oh, the National Religious Broadcasters Network. I see.
Stay tuned because tonight's Flashpoint is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. All right, are you ready? Because Flashpoint starts now.
I almost was excited by that, Gene. How many times did you try that? Was it 4? How many takes was that? Because that guy is sick of you walking by him. God is the sum of things and faith, and in a holy Bible and in my name, there's a Jesus says flag is Flashpoint, hosted by Gene the Jesus Machine.
Well, we're back, Flashpoint, live on location with my special friends, Pastor Hank Kuhneman and Mike Lindell. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, a guy so great, there's an echo.
Hey, so we've been here the last couple days, seeing what
I've learned so much.
God's doing here in the midst of all these broadcasters.
Yeah, in the world of tax-free broadcasting, this really is the top. This is the destination of choice. Think of it as Comic-Con. If there was no comic involved and it was just a big con.
Getting the word out and talking about what's happening. All right, so Pastor Hank, you've been here. What do you think?
Listen, this is amazing. Something has shifted in the United States.
Yeah, I took a big shift on this yesterday.
United States of America regarding what God is doing with the media. And I'm telling you, we're seeing some new faces and new, I guess you could say.
New ladies, new groupies, new Flashpoint groupies over there. And by the way, this is not my shitty lighting. This is their shitty lighting. See how bright this is? See how bright the logo is? That's not because the video is dimmed. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Maybe they fix it, maybe they don't. But Hank has a fan on himself so he doesn't sweat off his orange.
You say new things that are about to arise.
Oh, yeah.
America.
Oh, I'm glad you've got a skirt on the table then.
Amen. All right, so Mike, I'm going to do, you ready for this?
What?
This is the top.
What? Oh my God, he's already playing the hits already.
What? Wow.
All right.
We're going to do the top 10 here because this is you haven't been on since I've been doing the top 10.
What?
So this is top 10 stuff. I have a feeling that Mike Lindell's probably got another top 10 or two. All right, here we go.
Yeah, he's got a nutter top 10, sure.
Number 1, Rogan O'Hanley suing former California Secretary of State turned Senator Alex Padilla for colluding with Twitter to violate his First Amendment rights.
What, Jack Dorsey?
Wow, you kidding me? All right. Okay, number 2, Twitter lost its protective shield in India. Again, it's a bad day because they failed to comply with new IT rules. Twitter.
Oh, yeah, what are those IT rules? Are those the kind of IT rules that would make you proud to be an American if they were here?
Could now face, now listen to this, face police questioning and criminal liability over unlawful and inflammatory content posted by
unlawful and inflammatory content
any user
posted by any user
on their platform. All right, number 3.
So government censorship, and we're supposed to celebrate that. Yeah, since when is Twitter the government? Exactly a madness.
3, the Maricopa County audit continues. According to former Arizona Secretary of State.
By the way, that is not a picture of the Maricopa audit. That is, I think that's election workers on the day.
Ken Bennett, ballot evaluation should wrap up by the end of June.
Yeah, it should.
Further work will take place in July. Mike's going to have an update on what he thinks is happening here. Number 4.
What he thinks is happening. Kind of a crucial way of describing that.
Hundreds of citizens from across Michigan deliver more than 7,500 notarized affidavits to Michigan lawmakers claiming election fraud. Who ever heard of election fraud?
Yeah, claiming election fraud. You mean the ones that Rudy and Sidney Powell had, and they put them out, and all of them say, I believed I saw, and therefore you can't get in trouble because it's based on your belief, not on something you materially saw. Like, you can't say, I saw a fraud. Your affidavit says, I believed I saw this happen, and I believed I saw a truck full of this, and I believe these boxes should have been over there, and I believe those boxes should have been over here. And then they go, well, you were wrong. And you go, oh, okay, well, bye. Am I going to be in contempt of court? No, you can't. You just all you said was you believed, so you're a dumbass.
Demanding a forensic audit. I like that. They're demanding a forensic audit. The group was led by Michigan's first black female Secretary of State, Christina Caramo. Listen, folks, this is getting better. Every week there's, more happening. All right, number 5, I got to keep going. Governor Greg Abbott laid out a strategy for Texas to build its own wall.
On private property with private funds. And basically, he's just saying that the Trump wall didn't work, won't work, can't work.
Along the Texas-Mexico border, authorized $250 million down payment. He set up a donation website, directed.
It looks good. I think the staggering of the wall chunks is really how you know it's good. This isn't just old footage of the prototypes that they were building in, near San Diego or anything. And they ended up going with the one that's the easiest to scale.
Directed the Texas Facilities Commission to hire a project manager. Man, he's getting it
slat fence
done. Way to go.
No, he's not.
Governor Abbott, you're just
no, he isn't.
A little behind, but we're glad you started. All right, number 6.
He's a little behind. The federal government was supposed to do it. Trump was supposed to have had Mexico pay for it. How is it Abbott's fault? He's just a dumbass trying to get those votes for next time.
Governor Ron DeSantis deploying Florida state and local law enforcement officers to Texas and Arizona. They're coming to help, Hank. Coming to help. That's good.
Yeah, the rising crime rate in Miami and other places where murders are up. Those guys don't need to be there.
Good. With border security,
they need to save us from the scourge of 8-year-olds.
Comes after Abbott and Ducey sent out a letter to every state urgently requesting immediate assistance. What I like about this is that states are beginning to work together like they've never done before. All right.
Well, not since the Confederacy, I suppose. It's a shame we don't have a name for southern states working. Hold on. Styrene builds Operation Mindcrime is one of the best concept albums ever made. No question. I would argue the greatest.
All right, number 7.
Sorry, on that side note. I just saw that.
Federal judge blocked Biden's executive order that suspended new oil and gas leases on federal land. The preliminary injunction applies to offshore drilling and onshore federal land. It's a huge victory for American workers. All right, I'm almost done.
Why? How's it a huge victory? I mean, do I have to show the whole? Do I have to? This whole? Do I have to? How is this? All right. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being you. Thanks for the super chats, guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget, if you've never been here before and you've never super chatted, that's what that little $sign next to the smiley face in the chat on YouTube is all about. You can just you can get stickers and all kinds of stuff, and that helps support the show. And of course, patreon.com/HalSparks, or you can Venmo at HalSparks or paypal.me/HalSparks if you want to help. If you don't, you can just enjoy the show. If you can help, thank you. If you can't help, don't worry about it. But I appreciate it. But if you can, please do.
Number 8, small businesses are having trouble hiring workers because the government's paying people more to stay home unemployed than they would earn by working. Folks, this won't last forever. You got to go back to work. 9 more.
Yeah, they know.
States announced they will encourage people to get back to work.
Yeah, but it's a lot of the red states where people aren't getting vaccinated, so people don't trust the space to go back yet, and they're going to work for some jack-off like you who doesn't require masks or doesn't give a shit if anybody's inoculated, and the Delta variant's going to kill everybody, and these assholes are just going to let it happen, and so they can't get people to go back to those jobs.
By ending these unemployment pandemic benefits.
Thank you,
Boggy. We got to do this. Number 9, U.S. Supreme Court. And before I go into this, what a great picture of the U.S. Supreme Court. I mean, where are we getting, fuck Fiverr. This is the greatest clip art. There's a lot of people that need to work, and there's companies ready to hire people. We've got to get back to work, America. United States Supreme Court unanimously ruled that Catholic Foster Agency has a right to turn away same-sex couples as foster parents on the ground of religious freedom. Now, listen, a year ago, we wouldn't think that was a big deal, but that's a big deal now.
Yeah, a year ago, Trump was president, and that didn't happen. But I guess currently Biden's president. He's Catholic. Maybe that is a big deal.
Religious freedom is
Hi, Enrique.
coming in,
Thank you.
all right? And then finally,
yes, 666 Tower is not going to pay for itself. If you're new to the show and you've never been here before and you have the means and wherewithal, please donate $6.66 to help us buy 666 Fifth Avenue. I only need a billion more people. Thanks.
Number 10, I got a bonus one, but number 10, California adopted President Trump's plan to use controlled burns to rake forest floors.
To rake forest floors
of dead trees, branches, and leaves to decrease the spread of all.
Let me just if can I? You mind? Let's see. That'll do it. Let's see, how long is this? Let's see. This is April 1997, if I may. Season of burn effects in Southern California, Chaparral. Abstract. Prescribed burning for fuel reduction is most safely implemented during the wet season or early summer in Southern California, Chaparral. Previous studies suggest that wet season burns result in poor germination of fire-dependent species, and that growing season burns may reduce sprouting vigor of shrubs. We examined vegetation recovery for March, June, and November. This is a study done in 1997. That's April 1997 by Occidental College in Los Angeles. And this was because they'd been doing it for so long, they were trying to go, how do we do the best version of doing it? This is the... But it was Trump's idea back in 1997 or in 1993 or 1985 or, yeah.
A wildfire. California will be using $500 million in government aid to send 12-person crews out to 33 million acres of land. That's good to save that land. All right, so here.
Yeah, that's what California always does. The reason the fire seasons were extra bad was because of droughts, dryness, and the fact that arsonists and others were setting fires in areas that don't normally burn.
Here's my bonus one, number 11.
CSL.
Florida Board of Clemency has pardoned all Florida residents who were arrested or fined for violating their mask mandate imposed by local government. The tide has turned, gentlemen.
Yes, the tide has turned. Of all the durning tides, this one is the tightest tide that's ever turned. You mean when nobody has to wear masks anymore, and it's Florida?
Tide has turned. All right, I know you want to know what's the latest thing going on, so I told Mike already. Mike, everybody wants to know what's happening, what's the latest.
Yeah, they've seen your videos, they've seen your docu-movies. They're complete, they're all hideously constructed, poorly edited, full of gibberish and bullshit, and they need you to come in here and tell them. Don't just go tell them to watch those 5 movies because they've watched them and they still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Please tell us now.
Give us some good news.
Well, here's some great news, okay?
I'm very excited. Let's hear some great news.
Wow. I'm going to lay out what's going on right now. As you know, the last 3.5 months or 4 months, whatever it's been,
whatever.
Since January 9th, when I got this different evidence that...
This different evidence.
It's a malware called QSnatch.
Right.
It's all, it's all through the computers, the machines, and everything.
Yeah.
QSnatch.
Well, right now, I think everyone in the country and the world probably knows I have something, right? Yeah.
Yes. Some of us think it's an aneurysm. Others think it might be a form of drug-related CTE, for example. Maybe when you were carpet farming, you moved into the kitchen tile and bonked your head really hard. You definitely have something.
We got something. The media, the mainstream media won't have me on. The bad media that I got to deal with every day because
no offense, guys.
To get the word out.
The bad media. It's the okay. He means the Daily Show.
Is over and over that it happened, that this happened, but none of them have disputed any of the evidence.
Right. Well, that's because there would have to be evidence to dispute, and there is none.
It's just that let's just kill Mike Lindell, squash him, kill his company.
Right.
Well, so you know what? If we sat back, I go, here's what we're going to do. This is called a cyber symposium, okay? And what that is, it's going to be a date.
Yeah, what is a cyber symposium? Thanks, Cats and Jam Dragon.
Probably in August, okay, early.
Probably. Wait a minute. Wait, I thought Trump was coming back in August. I thought it was in... Wait a minute. It was in July.
Gentlemen, tide has turned. All right, I know, gentlemen, tide has turned.
Over and over that it happened, that this happened, but none of them have disputed any of the evidence. Right. It's just that let's just kill Mike Lindell, squash him, kill his company. Well, so you know what? If we sat back, I go, here's what we're going to do. This is called a cyber symposium, okay?
Which originally, if you'll recall, when we first covered this, was going to be in July.
Okay, and what that is going to...
And Trump would be back in August. Back in office by August.
Be a date probably in August.
Probably in August. Probably. It was definitely in July. Now it's probably in August.
Okay, early August.
Early August. Well, okay, that's a little better.
And what this is, what we have, if anybody watched Absolutely 9-0.
I watched it, and it's called Absolute 9-0.
We have something that's called packet captures.
Right. Did somebody just pop a laser on him? It looks like somebody's shining a laser on him at one point. But anyways, packet capture, right. This is the fake evidence used to show off the demo software that he shows in the first one, absolute interference. And at the end when they show the kind of, it looks like missile command, this is just the information that they plugged in and they've sold to him as packet capture.
Of the whole election, okay? And these...
No, not of the whole election.
Packet captures, I want to explain what they are.
Yeah, please. This is going to be good. Might want to, guys, get out your Cyber Ninjas for Dummies book and your workbook. Turn to page 666 in your workbook and pick up where we left off last time.
If we were in front of Mount Rushmore and taking a picture in 1975, let's say...
Yeah. This is going to be so good. If we were in front of Mount Rushmore in 1975, okay,
three of us,
just the three of you, and yes, you would have been you'd look about 10 years younger than you do now.
Someone took a picture.
Thank you, Sweet Indigo.
That would be forever captured. You couldn't alter it back then.
Yeah, but you could Photoshop it now, pretty friggin' easy.
If you had the picture, but if you didn't have the picture, we'd have to prove somehow we were all there together, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, with a packet.
Now, with computers the way they are, we could, just the three of us sitting right here, we wouldn't even need a green screen. We could just pretend that we're, wait, 1 second. Hold on. Let me see if it's at all possible. Let's see. Let me find, I'll have to go over here and go, let's see, Mount Rushmore. There we go, and get some sort of an image. There we go, and so it's a good. Let's see. Where's it? Let's see. Yeah, here's it going. We'll drag this over here. Put that down there. Drag this over here. Give me 1 second, kids. I'm just doing a little something. Let's see. Grab this and add this. Add a let's see, an image. I want to add a media file, I guess it would be, yeah, something like that. Let's go in here. We'll go browse disk, and we'll go to my desktop, and then we'll go over here. I know I'm going to crash everything to bring this up, but I feel like it's just worth it. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Let's see. And then just go here. Where's that? No, that's not the. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So let me grab let's see. I'll grab a picture of Mount Rushmore if I could, and I'm going to put myself. Let's see. I don't know if it's possible. But I'm going to see if, let's see, and then I need to move this behind me. There we go. And yeah, so like if I just wanted to make a picture of myself, just like in theory, like if I was in front of Mount Rushmore, or at least the Mount Rushmore that matters, there's obviously in 1974, when this album came out, there would be no way to prove that I was right there with a fully grown adult with long hair in front of the Mount Rushmore that I actually care about. But now anything's possible. Nobody can fake this. Jesus Christ. This asshole is about to use a photo analogy in a modern society where nearly anything can be photoshopped.
Packet capture into cyber forensics, that's better than a picture. That's for
No, it is not.
ever. You can't alter it,
Yes, you can.
and it tells everything.
No, it does not.
But you had to capture it, okay?
Yeah. And
these guys did. That's what
did
I've
they?
had. We've had the packet captures of the whole election. So you show, what does a packet capture show you? Just one, if you watch absolute interference.
They all run together. I forgive him for not knowing which one it is.
Or if you watch absolutely 9-0, either one.
Yeah, it's in both, but not. It's halfway in each.
You watch it and you'll see one packet capture will follow it. It shows where it came from, the attack, the IP of the computer.
And no matter what happens, whether or not it was a successful attack on our list or whether it was an unsuccessful attack on our list, Trump still lost votes. How is that? That's amazing. The Chinese are so good at this that they were able to steal votes from Donald Trump and give them to Joe Biden, even when their hacks were unsuccessful. We all did this before. I've seen this whole fucking thing.
Computer, the idea
3 times.
of the computer, where
Thanks for the binary, Momad and you. I appreciate it. And thank you, Lulu. What did it say? Get a fan to blow your hair. You can be in a hurricane. Oh, that's true. It's a good idea.
who it came from, ID China, what? Comes popping over here.
What? Excuse me. It's pronounced.
What?
Thank you.
Which computer it hacked into? What exactly happened in that space? So
Yeah, and no matter what happened, whether or not the software shows the attack happened or didn't happen, or was happening or wasn't happening, Donald Trump still lost votes. Fuck, this is dumb.
so it's like,
Why is no one bringing this up? Why is no one... Oh, all right, Jordan, is it Klepper? What's the dude from Daily Show? God damn it. Dude, I've watched all of these fucking things. Why does no one bring that up? Why does no one bring up that no matter where he finds in his little like, aha, look, the Chinese attacked, and their attack came directly from a server at Alibaba because the Chinese are so stupid they would attack our election without using a VPN. Jesus. And when the attack happens, Trump loses votes on this one attack. Oh my God, he's down 3,524 votes. Oh my God, give those to Joe Biden. And then the next attack, unsuccessful, failed. His little list. Some worked, some didn't. The fails. Trump loses 6,244 votes. What the? Now, never mind the fact that foreign servers all over the world, news organizations were getting updates from the same secretaries of state that Steve Kornacki was getting to report. And worldwide, Donald Trump is such a pariah that there was more interest. So all these servers were checking in on the servers that let people know. You could just constantly refresh it. And you would refresh this thing, and you'd go, oh, shit, what's changed? Nothing's changed. No, it's what's changed. Oh, look at that. We got 3,000 more votes, just like when Steve Kornacki's counting it off. And then they go, oh, my God, there was a spike in Germany. Because the German press was reporting, oh, Joe Biden has taken the lead in Philadelphia. Right, that shit. Never mind that happened. And the media, there was like the argument about media centers in all these foreign countries. We saw a lot of activity in the news servers in Germany and in Spain and in England and all these countries that give a shit about the American election. Never mind that. But the fact that none of the hacks correlate to anything specific, just that Donald Trump was losing votes. And again, they're fictional hacks. That's not the important part.
in this case, one case, 7,000 votes flipped from Trump to Biden.
No, they didn't. They did not flip from Trump to Biden. Donald Trump lost 7,000 some odd votes during the counting period at one point. Thank you, Robin. Somebody's got to memorize all this shit. Thank you.
Biden.
No, they did not. They did not flip from Trump to Biden. Biden gained votes or Trump lost votes, I guess technically is how they're looking at it. Trump was down 3,000. Now he's down 10,000. They weren't flipped. They were just counted.
So it's like a footprint in time.
Yeah, right up your ass.
It's not subjective.
It is too.
It's 100%.
You're an asshole. This is so infuriating. God damn, this is just so dumb.
And what did I do the last couple months?
You've been paying money out to a bunch of 3-card Monty dudes on a train.
Hired white hat hackers from the
White hat hackers.
government. They're here to protect our country. Right. So you bring in this, all these packet captions saying, you guys, what is this? And they're all going, if you were a cyber person protecting our country for cyber attacks like, whether it's credit cards or the gas line, these guys, what would you want more than anything? They'd want the packet captures because it's non-subjective. You got all the information's right there. You don't have to do a lot of work, right?
Well, these guys took a lot of my money to look at these packet captures and tell me what they wanted what I wanted to hear from those things.
These guys, they said, okay, with these packet captures, now having all this, I said, so what we're going to do at this cyber symposium, we're going to invite all the people that I've hired that validated it all. They're going to be there, and every cyber expert that has CISSP credentials,
I do not have those, but I want to go. Can I go?
No idea what it is, but you got to have it, right?
Well, yeah, you got to have that thing. I don't know what it is, but why would that matter? You're just trying to overturn the election of the United States of America based on, I don't know what the fuck it is. It's something.
Yeah, it sounds impressive.
It does sound impressive.
What? And so...
Yeah, it doesn't sound as impressive as...
Snatch.
But it's close.
We're going to be, you have this big, maybe it could be like we're in now, a huge convention center.
Yeah, it's huge.
So you're inviting them, a 3-day event. You bring them in.
And you bring them in. I like this. So far, you're bringing them in. They're brought in. Somehow they're brought in. Are they flown in or they walk in? I don't know.
And we're going to show all the PCAPs. Here you go. Here it all is. And you're bringing all the media from the whole world. Maybe even...
Yeah, the media from all over. RT, Sputnik, College News associated with Al Jazeera. What's that, ISIS magazine? They'll be there.
Even Fox would show up. What a concept. All these coward stations and journalists out there that won't look at stuff, that are afraid. And so they bring in there.
Yeah, that's a way to get them to come to your thing, Mike.
Worldwide event.
Use some reverse psychology on them. Can you imagine a conversation with... I would love to have this conversation with Mike Pillow. God damn, it's dumb.
And it's going to be seen by billion. I want to break Elvis Presley, Hello from Hawaii. Remember that in 1973? Everybody watched it. Everybody's going to tune in because...
Yeah, they totally are. Both these guys are buying it. Gene hasn't moved on already.
Here it is. You're putting all your cards on the table. Then this is where the people come in, everybody.
Oh, boy, this is where it happens. All right.
Wow.
All right.
Every single person in this country, you need to tell your legislatures, you need to tell your senators, your state senators, your congressmen, you need to tell your governor, you
need to tell your bookie, you need to tell your dealer,
Secretary of State, your Attorney General. Say
he's high, the back of his throat is numb, probably.
You need to go represent and watch, and they can sit there and watch all this and ask all the questions when all these experts, these cyber experts are turned.
By the way, none of his cyber experts will appear on camera. So there's that. So I don't know what the news thing is going to be like. I don't know if they'll all have to wear a mask or something.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well put.
You can't change it. It is.
No, you can't change it. You can just look at it, look at Mike, look at the people taking his money, look back at Mike, and go, you're a moron. All you can do, really.
Is what it is.
Like a picture, like you described, that can't be altered.
Like a picture, it can't be altered. And we are talking about digital packets of information. No government on Earth would have the ability to create packet capture frauds that were clever enough to fool someone as wise in the ways of computers as Mike Pillow. God damn.
Once it's there, that's just there.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Gene. Just way to shape it up.
Heroes that got these packet captures on the night of the election.
They did. These guys are heroes. Now, they got the packet captures on the night of the election, weeks before the election, but
now let's say you don't have these packet captures.
Okay, I'll say it. You don't have these packet captures. You have fakes sold to you by lunatics.
Well, the audits that we all did. By the way, no judges seen this. This all came January 9th. All this, that was brought to me. I want to say.
Yeah, it was brought to you. It wasn't brought to anybody else. It was brought to you. You of the take my money.
With these packet captures.
These packet captures.
If you don't have them, let's say you didn't have them.
You don't have them. I'll say it.
Then how would you ever find out about this cyber attack by China and all these massive number of votes that were flipped?
Well, we would have the Department of Homeland Security, the CIA, and the FBI involved because there would be a massive discrepancy between the paper ballots and the votes that were there. So during any of the recounts where the numbers didn't match up exactly, they would go, holy shit, there's 8,000 missing votes here and there's just no ballots, and it's all over the country. It's in dozens of places. It's so slapdash, it doesn't match even close. It's off by tens of hundreds of thousands of votes. It's ridiculous. Every state is completely corrupt. Oh my God. And not only that, but we can trace the IPs directly to a storefront for Alibaba in Beijing. My God. If the Chinese were only slightly more clever, they would have been able to hide this.
Which I seen in November, December. Going,
yeah, probably sugar packets from Waffle House that have 2020 election written on them. Right. You look exhausted from listening to this. Thanks, Mariah. I kind of am.
It's just too.
I've dealt with this bullshit before. We've done this so many. This. He keeps thinking this is all new.
Big for, I call it organic cheating for your dead people, your non-residents, all this stuff that went on too.
Yeah. Oddly enough, though, that went on, but it doesn't match up with the hacking. But it was perfectly coordinated with the hacking, but at the same time doesn't show up and never actually happened. Yeah, but that's the organic stuff. You mean the stuff where Trump got more votes than he should have? Prove me wrong.
But then when you found this, it had to be done by machines, by computers, which it was. So. So now, when you bring in, by bringing in all of these, congressmen and governors and everything else.
Yeah, when you get the attention, I hear you. So the important thing is you get attention for your promo code FLASH for mypillow.com. Is that because Lanny Walnuts is exposing himself in a bathroom at the convention center to a Christian women's group right now? Maybe some other reason.
You're bringing them in, and they're going to see it with their own eyes. It's not subjective. And they're going to go, come on, it can't be, right? It can't be. If you didn't have...
By the way, that audio chop is not mine.
...them, you would have to do audits. Not just an audit like these fake audits they did. You got to do one like they're doing in Maricopa County. Yeah. You need the machines, and you need the routers. Why do you think they're trying to stop Maricopa from getting the routers?
They got routers. I mean, obviously, some of the stuff they had to remove because they didn't want the people to know the addresses of and the voting history of people because that's private, and that would violate their constitutional rights. That might be why. Yeah, and the fact that there aren't any.
The routers they're also printed. They show who did it and everything.
The routers are printed.
Else, right? But they don't.
No.
I want to show you the routers there. It's been just going through mud when you got governors like Ducey and Kemp.
Republicans, you mean?
Obstructionists that
Yeah, Republicans, I know.
Obstruct.
Yeah, that's the Republican way. I mean, you like it when Mitch McConnell's doing
And
it.
you ask yourself, everybody, you go, when I was kicked out of the RGA, the Republican Governors Association.
That's what I ask myself. Like, oh, remember, you remember when you were kicked out of the Republican Governors Association? I go, no, I don't remember that. Well, you wouldn't, would you?
Here's a little deviation there.
There was a lot of deviation there. There's a lot of, I don't know, in general, I think, there's a lot of those folks.
I think there's some kind of deviated prevert.
I'm invited. Of course I'm invited. You think I'm going to go down there for my health? I go down there. I was invited last year, but I'm going, you know what?
Yeah, if you get invited one year, your invite is good for the next year, right? I mean, any Oscar party I've been invited to, I can just go to forever.
What? I'm going to call out Ducey and Kemp. Well, they must have got wind of that. Probably bragged about that I was going to do it. I don't know. Said something with my, But they all of a sudden, right before we're heading to the governor's, man.
God damn it. Thank you, Deborah.
They come down and say, you know what? You're uninvited. In fact, you're invited to everything. Now, that's not the part that is the big deviation, right?
No, that's not the part where you thought you could just go there and shit on some governors randomly as just rando CEO dude, that you'd just be allowed in the room at any kind of gathering, that you think that that's true. What? All right. I'm sorry, I forgot. You're an asshole too.
The media then, the parable media, your politicals, your daily beasts of the world,
yeah, political. I read political almost every day. I guess you do.
Come and they go,
he was uninvited.
They go, Mike, you were kicked out, whatever. And I said, yeah. I said, I had credentials, though, because they lied to them and said I wasn't invited. So I show the left media, I show them my credentials, okay? You'd think that they would want to attack the RGA and say, hey, they lied to us. The RGA lies. But they didn't do anything because of Brian Kemp and Doug Ducey. You got to ask yourself.
So Tony's saying, what I think is great about Mike Lindell's hackers that gave him this information is that he believes that they had access to voting machines during our election, which makes them criminals hacking our election. So it looks like Mike is admittedly directly working with potential election hackers and doesn't even recognize that. Precisely. And by the way, it's all show. They fabricated it to sell demo software to the to the State Department, and the State Department said, "No, thank you. We don't trust you. Fuck off. We have our own software, and we got this covered." And they went and sold it to Mike Lindell using the same demo with just BS IP addresses that they put in. Because again, he's like, we verified the computers, as if they went to China and Tom Cruise, their Mission Impossible, their way into a server room at Alibaba and opened up a laptop and checked its actual serial number.
Yourself, why are they in on it with them?
Yeah, that's right. There's a MSNBC and Fox and ABC and stuff. They're all in it with the Republican Governors Association.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just figure it out, So what?
I don't know. Just figure it out,
But what I'm saying with this symposium now, you're getting everybody there. I want the naysayer. I want the, right now, I think it's 80%.
You want the naysayer?
80% of Republicans and 30% of Democrats now believe that this country was attacked by China with these machines.
No, they don't. 30% of Democrats do not believe that at all. And 70% of Republicans, no. They think there was shenanigans. Some of them think that, Fulton County had some, black volunteers doing fake ballots and blah, blah, blah. It didn't pan out and whatever. But that they can believe that. But 30% of Democrats do not believe that we were attacked by China. And those that do, in many ways, think that Florida, Ohio, and especially Texas are incredibly suspect, and then it's actually that Trump, the man who was in power at the time of the election, was actually buying votes or having some people help him to try and win the election, and it's why he was so far behind in Texas, and yet he won handily. And the same thing is true in a bunch of places. And he was saying, if you get this many votes, you're going to win automatically, which sounds like a sales pitch.
And they go, Mike, where'd you get this? Well, we did a poll. We did a poll. Call me out on it, fake news, I mean, I'm telling you, that's reality. That's what I believe the numbers are. And it's...
That's what I believe the numbers are. What?
More and more every day. You know, and you look at this, and we get this done now. Now imagine millions, a billion people watching this.
It's fabulous. The fantasy is amazing. I'm partially chubbing right now.
And every one of them cyber guys has to turn.
Every one of them cyber guys has to what?
To their governor,
has to turn to their governor, because every state has them cyber guys.
Congressman, I don't care what party you're in, go, this was an attack by China.
So they're going to whisper like, this was an attack by China. This is I don't know if you know this. Hold on one second. There's something wrong with the way I'm doing this. It's just missing something. I don't know what it is. I got to figure out. Let me see if I can. Yeah, maybe this will do. Oh, give me 1 second or whatever. So they'll have to lean over. They'll have to lean over and go, this was an attack by China. Wow. This was an attack by China. This is never going to stay on. It totally.
These are, this is.
God, yeah.
It's exactly the packet captures. They're not going to believe. They're going, wow.
Wow.
You have the packet
What? Wow.
captures for the whole election.
You got the whole election. The whole election.
So that's what you're
done.
going out there.
Wow.
And then what's going to happen? Then you
what's
bring
going
it
to
to
happen?
the Supreme Court.
And then you go straight in. You just kick the doors into the whole Supreme
on
Court.
The Supreme Court when they,
and then they do that. They go,
going to go, you got to protect our country.
You got to protect.
They're going to be
and they're going to be like, oh yeah. They're going to be
all 9 of them. You're letting them off the hook there because you know what?
Yeah, don't let them off the hook there. I'm going to go count the darn cars.
Liberal, whether they're doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if they're liberal or Marxist or socialist or communist or Venezuelan or Chinese or fish. You know, nobody.
If they're getting blackmailed or something, they can go, hey, I got to see it.
I got to say it
because it's non-subjective.
It's not. No, it's not.
They pull this election
this
down.
Whole thing
and
down.
It's over. You put a real president back in.
You put the real president, just throw him back in there. You go down to the Supreme Court. You throw the whole thing off there, and this thing won't stay on. These Super Mario kids mustaches from Party City suck. Oh yeah, house pillows, right?
I think the mainstream go, Mike, you said August. Excuse me, I might be off by a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're off by. I might be off of my fucking gourd. Sorry. What happened to Hal? I disappeared. Or,
Now, I
you gotta. I can't do that without the mustache. Shit. This is not gonna.
I don't know if those of you that are scoring along at home.
Yeah. I got just a big 0 times 0.
A lot of times in the media, it's not what they say, it's what they're not saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not what you see, Gene. It's what you not see. I am not doing that mustache. Sorry.
You know, so you need to understand what they're not saying.
Yeah, what they're not seeing.
And I thought it's interesting with all this timing. President Trump comes out this week and said, I have never conceded the election.
That's right.
So it's almost like he's as deluded and stupid as you are. It's amazing. It's almost as if he's found a great way to grift his followers. If they still think this is possible, they're going to keep chucking money down his farting gullet.
There you go.
Exactly
I've never
right.
conceded the election.
Yeah, I know. It's, I mean, that's really. I do want you to know something, though. Gene, the Jesus machine, he fucking lost. He doesn't legally. His concession means nothing. It's a perfunctory. It's habit. It's a tradition. It shows that you can be magnanimous. It protects our democracy by someone being not being a sore loser. But Donald Trump is a fuck up on all fronts in every part of his life, and especially in his choice of friends, apparently. And it's no surprise that he would also fuck up something as easy as a decent concession.
All right, let me pitch to Greg. We'll take a break here from this table.
Jesus, Greg was not ready for this. He was on his way to a Glenn Beck cosplay, and he was trying to force his beard to grow in.
We're live at the National Religious Broadcasters here in Texas at Grapevine at the Gaylord Hotel. But I want to pitch to...
At the where?
Whether they're doesn't even matter if they're getting blackmailed or something, they can go, hey, I got to see it. It is what it is because it's non-subjective. It's not subjective. They pull this election down, and it's not going to believe they're whether they're doesn't even matter whether they're.
A lot of times in the media, broadcasters here in Texas at Grapevine at the Gaylord Hotel. But I want
at the what hotel?
To pitch to Greg. They're in the news studio. Greg, bring us up to date.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Gene. Yeah, let me try and appear not ridiculous for
to the audit that's underway in Arizona's Maricopa County. I'll catch you up with that in a moment.
Yeah, it's going great.
Right now, the top Republican in Pennsylvania's state Senate is reportedly considering calling a vote to authorize an audit of the 2020 election in Pennsylvania.
He's thinking about considering it? Oh, good.
According to the Epic Times, the chair of the state
the Epic Times. Great, according to them.
Government committee says he wants to review Pennsylvania's election results before making a decision about that audit. Over the weekend, David Argyle told reporters he didn't see any danger in conducting an audit, and
because he knows it's going to turn out the way it turned out, and
he was considering doing one similar, very similar to what they're doing there in Arizona. Now, in Arizona. And we're wondering what really happened when it came to, and specifically, signature verification of ballots in Maricopa County, Arizona. The Western Journal is reporting, according to Ken Bennett, the Senate liaison to the election audit, county election workers told auditors that signature verification standards for mail-in ballots were very high at the beginning of the counting, but they were lowered drastically, and before it was all said and done, they were done away with altogether. According to the report, here's the latest, Gene.
Because Trump was losing too many votes because his people can't sign paper?
According to the report, county election officials have denied these allegations.
And by the way, that's a lie. They made it up. And what they're talking about and what they're using as evidence is that the machines that were running through were kicking stuff out when they were set at like 70%. And they still had to look at them again, but they would also just run them through for signature verification. They would kick out any that weren't perfect. And so they were lowering the standard so they'd go through smaller packets because the ones that were super obvious, if they set it at 30%, the ones that were super obvious would just automatically go through.
These allegations, but the Journal reports election officials were allegedly looking for 20 points in signature verifications. They reviewed
20 points
absentee ballots. But when they got behind, the county workers were allegedly told to drop from 20 points of verification down to 10 points of verification, then down to 5 points, then down to 1. According to...
Yeah, here's one. Does the signature look like the signature? Yeah, it does, actually. Okay, that's it.
Bennett, workers dropped signature verification of those ballots altogether.
Which is a lie.
And they even allowed ballots through that had no signatures at all.
That's a lie as well.
Bennett goes on to say if that is true,
it isn't.
It would be a terrible failure.
It would, but it's not. So why even bring it up?
Audit workers
but to keep saying
are going to check out the mail-in ballots to...
Yeah, they're going to check them out, and they're going to find signatures on all of them. Can we just jump ahead back to Mike Pillow? Oh, my God. It's Mario. We don't need to see Mario. Oh, God. Hanky Cooney Coon gets to say something. Hold on. I so wish...
You don't need a break. Look in your grandchild's eyes. Look in your children's eyes. And then ask yourself if you deserve a break.
I don't. That's why I don't go to McDonald's anymore. I really don't. Not that I ever really did. But I was like, I don't deserve a break today. I don't care how well. I mean, Barry Manilow may have the voice of an angel and the songwriting skills to match, but
we have to push back on wokeness and this culture.
He says from the middle of the street on a hill in San Francisco, speaking with a purple microphone that looks vaguely like a giant turtle penis.
War that's in America.
Epically counting votes. Oh, Wayne Guaco is epically counting votes. Yeah.
We cannot give up now. We've got to expose the fraud of the election. We've got to change. We've got to go to the schools.
Yes.
We've got to keep the
go to the
noise
schools
up. And
yes, it is noise. I will give you that.
Keep ourselves engaged.
Yeah, you got to keep on keeping on, Mario. But you're going to have to get out of the way before you're killed by a trolley.
Yeah, amen to that. We do have to stay engaged. Pastor Hank, you know, what you're hearing from Mike Lindell and Mario is absolutely true. We're doing this. Let me tell you one thing I like about Mike.
Yeah. Mike pays for our show. That's one thing I like about him.
You see him or you hear him, his talks always end up with about revival. About the whole point of this is that we're leading America into a revival.
And since that's our big money maker, I'm for it.
You're seeing that happening right there in Omaha.
Yes, I see a great awakening happening. People are getting saved. They're hungry. But here's the thing. This is why it's so important.
I have to say, Hank, I've been watching some of your stuff, and we've been playing clips, and the audience at your get-togethers is thinning out a touch. I'm just saying.
You know, to have Mike here, for example, tonight, because, you know, there's a scripture that says that there was a man sent from heaven, and his
You're going to have to say it slowly because Mike is a man of God who doesn't know any of this.
name was John. There's a man sent from heaven named Mike Lindell that God is using to wake up
What? I'm sorry. Was this in Acts or Romans?
America with a different kind of
It must have been in one of the other Corinthians.
awakening, and it's called a great awakening to the truth.
Oh, so it's a QAnon thing. I see. How's the pineapple taste on your farm, Cooney Coon?
And truth will have a voice. And I want to just say this, Pastor Gene. You know, God prophesied back August 16th of
No, you did. God did not prophesy. You prophesied.
2020. So maybe you're watching, you're saying, well, I don't believe in prophecy.
Right.
Well, listen to this. August
All right, what did he say?
16, documented prophecy from our ministry. God said they would steal the election, it would be delayed, and that they would have a planned, chaotic thing that they would do. The prophecy then goes on and says, God will give a sign. There'll come a great unmasking, and when the masks come off the mouths, you will see.
It wasn't because there were masks at the time? What?
Who did this, where they did this, when they did this, and why they did this.
And who they did this to.
And God says when that
who is Gomorrah?
mask comes off, there will be a removal of political figures. Boy, I wonder who that can be.
I'm going to go with Trump, and that the prophecy was just off by a little bit, and he obviously got kicked to the curb specifically on January 20th. But he's the guy that actually. I mean, it might be Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, though. You know, it could be all the people who were engaged in January 6th. I mean, I don't want to second guess God's prophecies, but I'd have to go back and play a clip of that.
The false clown administration that is in there illegally. And that's why God is using men like this and others for the truth to come out, because
the false clown.
God is restoring, Pastor Gene, our nation back to divine order. And it's why we've got to stand as bold Christians, preachers, those of you that voted for President Trump, you stood for what's right. Listen, payday is coming, and it's coming fast. And I want to just
so God is bribing his followers now.
Say this. I had a dream on Sunday.
Really? You slept in on Sunday? That didn't sound right. Why were you sleeping on Sunday? Were you napping during church? Did you fall asleep in church again?
And, God speaks to me in dreams. And I asked.
Oh, that explains it.
The president, he called me in the dream.
And the Lord said, you shall find yourself in a hallway of your high school, buck naked and late for a test. And everyone will be laughing until you turn around and show them. And then the laughing shall cease.
And I asked him, I said, how are things going, President Trump? And he said to me, he said, Hank, it's going to happen sooner than you think.
Oh, yeah? Did he kind of, God's a little chatty about that? Hank, it's going to happen sooner than you think. Was he sitting on a log?
And then he said these words.
What I did tell you was true from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view?
He said, tell the people that they have been and are aggressively working on this, and we are going to see our nation restored to the people. And then the dream switched, and we were in some big meeting place, and
it was a hot tub.
He was singing the national anthem, and he had his hand over his heart. The military were there, and the patriots of America were rejoicing. This is what's coming.
God had his hand over his heart. It's a big hand.
And I'm telling you, we cannot back off. What we need to do is get behind men like this who
pay for your broadcast, right?
Is using to bring the truth out, because it's going to shift things very soon.
Yeah, in fact, let me just say right here, we want to get behind Mike Lindell, and
yeah, absolutely, and unzip. You, Mike, if these guys get behind you, cover your ass.
Speaking to your Flashpoint army, you guys know.
It's Flashpoint, not Fleshpoint.
Know what to do. Mike, they took you out of a few big box stores again, and I'm like, really, guys, come on. All right, so you know what to do. Go buy another pillow. Go buy something from the store. Go to whatever you can. Go to my.
You mean use the Flashpoint promo code because he's paying for the broadcast like he does everywhere he goes?
Pillow.com. Order something. Use the code FLASH. You get a special discount.
Yeah, no, don't.
And we're going to help Mike Lindell and the good people, all your staff. And that's the people that get hurt.
Yeah, by you, Mike. Yeah, you could have separated yourself. You could say, look, my pillow has nothing to do with my own political beliefs. Don't take this out on my company and my employees. I am not Mike Pillow, the CEO of Mike Lindell, the CEO of My Pillow. I'm my own man in this regard. My company and all that stuff is involved. There's a lot of other people. I am not, as a matter of fact, I'm stepping down as the CEO of My Pillow right now because I don't want it to harm those, the individuals who work very hard there and the executive staff and da-da-da. He's not doing that. He's using it to sell pillows.
Because when you can't generate income, you have to start cutting where you got to cut. And
yes, and he could cut, for example, the number of dollars that he gives to fake cyber experts.
We want to help make sure that doesn't happen. So
2,500 employees, they have families, and they've been thanking everybody, especially like you guys.
Yeah, what? And let me see, was there Mike Lindell masks losing money? Gee, who talked this guy into, I can't imagine, who talked this guy into turning his factory into a mask making facility? Who could that possibly, I couldn't imagine.
That have gotten behind us when these cowards, these box stores and shopping channels that just, they're as bad as the people that attack them, the bots and trolls. All
right, so what you need to do is you need to remember who's cutting people like Mike Lindell, who's being nowadays.
Who's cutting him?
If you haven't been censored by YouTube, you're doing something wrong.
Well, I have been. So thanks for the vote of confidence, Gene, the Jesus machine.
You gotta get with.
You gotta get
the program, folks.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, this is, I call it the revelation of the remnant. We used to play, I've said this before, we used to hear politicians, they all play to that 11% in the middle when it comes to an election, because you got the ultra right and the ultra left.
No, they don't. And there's not 11% in the middle. Are you out of your fucking mind?
And what they're doing is now there is no middle. Nobody's trying to be centrist. That's a term that's gone.
Well, if anybody has, I've done damn fine work as best I can.
All the way. It's either far right or far left. So guess what? Even in the church, you've got to decide, what are you doing? What side are you on?
What do you mean even in the church? What the fuck? How is that anything? No, you don't. It's, as a matter of fact, in the church is the one place you wouldn't have to choose a side.
This is the time. You can't ride the fence. I think Mario said it this way.
No, you can just go to church and pray and align yourself as best you can in your daily life with the teachings of whatever your church is. You do not have to pick a fucking side. This is gross. Seriously. Yeah, but yeah, right. But yeah, the Dems are divisive. Yeah, it's the left that's dividing everyone.
But you can't ride the fence when the devil owns the fence. You're going to
The devil does not own the fence.
Have to.
The fence would be the center part. I think Buddha owns the middle way.
Make sure you stand up and make sure you're counted and all that. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, and all that.
Again, go share this on all your social media. Special shout out to everybody watching on frankspeech.com. If you're not.
Oh, okay. So there we go. He's carrying their show on there now.
Signed up on Frank Speech, you need to do that. You've got how many people following you now on Frank Speech?
Well, we get about 1 million a day, and it's just, I don't even...
You mean the same million?
It just keeps getting better and better. I'm pulling in people, so they tried to completely take our First Amendment right and gone.
Yeah, take it and gone.
Get rid of us all, and so putting this platform.
By the way, go to fwank.com and subscribe FWANQ.com.
Farm out there is basically a broadcast network right now, because we need it right now more than ever. Because when we do pull the trigger and say, you know what, everybody talk about this symposium, get your congressman over there. I need that voice to push it out far and wide, and that's I built the whole thing for such a time as this, to get the word out. Sure, after this is all done and we pull this election down, we get our president back in and we get our voices back. Then, then we use it for other things that you can, they started with the machines, and you can talk about vaccines. And it's getting to the point now, I mean, so many people out there, what do you think their big end goal is? Don't talk about Jesus. That's it,
That's the end game. So calling out Donald Trump as a complete punk, a loser, a fraud, and an anti-democratic monster during the entire course of his presidency, his grotesque personal behavior towards women and minorities through his entire fucking life. Calling him out for that, and calling out people who hypocritically support him, alleging that he is somehow the messenger of God. That's an attack on Jesus. You know how taking the Lord's name in vain is one of the concept sticks in my craw, because it doesn't mean not saying Jesus Christ or going God damn it when you say something. It means using the name of God for your own actions when they do not align. So using the Lord's name in vain is saying God sent me, being a false prophet, for example. And in the case of this, is there anything more pathetic than going, well, it's really, I know they're attacking Trump, but it's really because they're trying to get at Jesus. Fuck off.
And so, you say one thing and it's like,
shame on you.
And I think,
no, it isn't. It's not you say one thing and nobody called him out for saying something Christian when he was with Trump on, when he gave that speech that he keeps referencing back to the time when he appeared in the Rose Garden with Trump. And he's like, everybody was on me for, calling me a bigot after I just came out and said I believe in Jesus. And it was the hypocrisy of thinking that Donald Trump is somehow aligned with the teachings of Jesus in any way.
When you were talking about first,
what was he talking about?
People right now, I said this is the best time in history to be alive, because it's God.
Well, that's true. I mean, did you see the dude on the flying drone cycle thing in Times Square? I want one of those fucking things so bad. And of course, we're about 15 years we're about 15 years to 20 years away from our anti-aging treatments reaching basically an aging escape velocity, where if you can turn somebody who's 60 back to the health they had when they're 30, and you could just kind of keep doing that, then you really don't need a cure for ultimately that thing. You could just, the treatments that you'll have will be able to keep people at around, 30 to 35 year physical age for their entire lives and stuff. We're about 15 to 20 years away from that. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's a good time. You know what I mean? I look forward to seeing my great grandkids graduate from university, but obviously that's not what he's talking about.
God gave us grace. When I spoke from the Rose Garden, I said, God,
oh my God, that's that. All right.
God gave us grace, and I said we need to spend time in our Bibles and in prayer and be proactive in prayer. Our prayers are getting answered now. I mean, they're getting answered.
Are they? Yeah. This was the answer to your prayer. Being at the religious broadcasters gathering at the Gaylord Hotel in Texas with the guys from Flashpoint arguing why no one watches your docu-movies that you post on your own site because you got kicked off Twitter. I mean, it's really just, it is a prayer answer.
No, because one of the things is all of these things, if you look, we're going to get out here and you look back, and all these things had to happen. Right. It wasn't, you think, I look back.
Yeah, Trump had to lose.
Now, and I say, you know what? If they would have, everyone would have done their job back then and stuff, and then we would have never known about the machines, about this attack. And you got to look at these things that happen.
Yeah, because Trump wouldn't have looked into it, and as long as he gets elected, he didn't give a shit. So basically, he had to lose before we noticed that someone was trying to help him win.
And even look.
Oh, God.
I've said it before, too. If I was a marketer over here for the CCP that used the Democrat Party, and I'm over here, I'm going to go, you got to look at these things that are just too long odds to happen. Well, what they did, the two senators in Georgia. So if I'm them, I'm going to go, let's give them a Republican for now. We already have some compromise senators. Let's give them that, because if they would have, I was praying that they took them both, because if they give one, we're not sitting here. You know why? Right. Everyone's going, oh, we'll get them in 2022, you know. There wouldn't be a 22, and there's not going to be one now, you know, okay? But they got...
Yeah, okay, there's not... By the way, 2022 has been canceled. I know you had plans, but...
greedy and took them both. Right. And then if I'm a marketer for them, on inauguration, I'm going, you know what, let's just let them all shut up about this thing, and let's do good stuff and not do anything damaging to, you know, like open up the border or lay off 50,000 union workers or just little things like that hurt everybody. Let's just say...
Oh, you mean like you wouldn't have them, you know, the borders are basically say don't come, you know, the border is closed in English and Spanish. You wouldn't have Kamala Harris go down to South America and say, I know you're thinking about coming, don't come. You wouldn't do that? You wouldn't? Huh.
Just sit here and not do nothing and open up the states and make everybody feel good. And you know what? Then we'll kill them and we'll crush them and take the country, because they already had the machine. But once again, bad marketing. They went right for the throat. Let's do. And what's that doing right now, everybody? My audience is, you know, I have people, everyone over here is more, but, you know,
I'm glad he's staying on track, though.
They want to believe that what happened, and they do believe. Well, my audience has always been, you know, just because the Democrat Party was used by this, you know, and they're the ones that warned of this. The Democrats, I have friends that are Democrats, some of my employees are Democrats and liberals, and I talk to them, and now they're shifting.
It's the old, they didn't sign up for this, we didn't want this.
They don't get brainwashed. They're not getting brainwashed anymore, because you know what? The only one out there talking about election fraud is me on the bad media, going like this. They're not saying didn't happen or whatever. They're just not talking about it, like you say. But they see something going on. And what they see going on is just...
Yeah, they don't just nod at you because you're the boss, and then when you walk away go, fucking hell, I gotta look for a new job.
Decisions that don't help anybody, okay? And they're seeing these terrible decisions going there. I always take people back. Let's go back in time to our happy place.
All right, I feel like that's a new audio drop. That has to be...
used by this, you know, and they're the ones that warned of this. The Democrats, I have friends that are Democrats, some of my employees are Democrats and liberals, and I talk to them, and now they're shifting. They don't get brainwashed. They're not getting brainwashed anymore, because you know what? The only one out there talking about election fraud is me on the bad media, going like this. They're not saying didn't happen or whatever. They're just not talking about it, like you say. But they see something going on, and what they see going on is decisions that don't help anybody, okay? And they're seeing these terrible decisions going there. I always take people back. Let's go back in time to our happy place, December of 2019.
Yeah, December of 2019. That was our happy place. If those of you that listen to my radio show before I had this daily live stream will remember that in December of 2019, I was warning you about a disease that was coming from China, and that you might want to, when you're going out, if you're going to sneeze, cough into your or sneeze or cough into your elbow, or sneeze into your elbow, wash your hands regularly, don't touch your face, and avoid people who've been sick. And if you've been sick, wear kind of a mask, because this disease is killing people in China, and it's only a matter of time before it gets out. And I, over Christmas break, warned of this multiple times. But to him, November 2019 was a happy place.
Merry Christmas, right? It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Everybody, no matter who you were in the United States, if you were here, everybody's life had gotten a little bit better.
Yeah,
and
totally.
no matter how many
and all it took
forks you ate with, you got a little bit better. Consumer confidence all-time high, unemployment all-time low. Everything was beautiful. How did we get there? We got there by priming the pump, the largest military package in the world, a temporary tax break that was flooding the economy with money, and then of course we hit a recession in February of 2020 because of that. We got there by political decisions that manifested to help the people. Now I say to everybody, Democrat, Republican alike, you look at what's in office now and you think that's your Democrat Party or whatever. That's the what do you call the facade that they're saying is there. But that you look at the decisions that come out of there. And if you can't say, if you take a decision like the border, open it up, and it was working just fine, and you ask yourself, if you're over here and you're a Democrat, you're going, did that help me? No. How about
No.
50,000 union jobs where 13 of them committed suicide already. Did that?
13 people committed suicide because they lost their job. I beg your pardon? So the people who were going to work on the Keystone Pipeline who lost their job, 13 of them committed suicide because a pipeline that wasn't built didn't get built.
It helped anyone? No, it helped countries overseas. It hurts you more than anything.
It's a Canadian shale oil pipeline.
It ain't this what you pay extra for gas. Everything goes up because of that.
Yeah, and it's the Democratic Party. Thanks, Moms Russo.
So you take those 40-some executive orders that keep coming out of D.C. and you dissect them and you put one after another and you say, these are political decisions, but they're not helping anybody or the people. So
I know I'm running out of time. I know I've gone way over. I get it. Biden executive orders. Just a general, if I may. Here's a list that came of the executive actions he signed in his first 100 days. Let's see. First one, of course, raised the minimum wage of federal contract workers to $15 an hour. Doesn't help anybody. Immigration reverses the Trump policy banning refugees from key regions and enables flights from those regions to begin within days. Declares that the 15,000 annual refugee cap set by Trump will be raised to a number to be determined by May 15th. Imposes sanctions and diplomatic expulsions on Russia. That helped, certainly. Forms the Presidential Commission on the Supreme Court of the United States, which is intended to provide an analysis of the principal arguments for and against Supreme Court reform. Revokes a Trump executive order that authorized sanctions on International Criminal Court officials. Establishes a White House Gender Policy Council. That would help people of not Mike's gender, I guess would be the thing. Reaffirms a policy of the Biden administration that all students should be guaranteed an educational environment free from discrimination on the basis of sex, including discrimination in the form of sexual harassment, which encompasses sexual violence, and including discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. That would help those folks. I mean, I'll just look at the ones that isn't revoking something. Launches a 100-day review of U.S. supply chains for pharmaceuticals. That would seemingly help. Establishes a White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships to coordinate providing community services in partnerships with federal, state, and local governments and with other private organizations. Huh. That sounds kind of Jesus-y. Sanctions Myanmar. Establishes an interagency working group to propose improvements for recruiting and retaining and supporting national security professions. Outlines the structure of the National Security Council, incorporates more regular participation from cabinet officials focused on domestic policy that influences national security. Extends the timeline from the January 21st memo, which directed FEMA to reimburse states to fully cover the cost for National Guard personnel and emergency supplies. Now states will also be reimbursed for emergency purchases made since the beginning of the pandemic. This covers, by the way, all the cities that had to spend money on National Guard services under Trump when they had riots and there was damage caused by that. And the cities ended up having to also pay for the National Guard troops that came there. And look what Biden did for them. That helps. All right, we're not going to go through all of them. Just saying. But just remember, these don't help anybody.
So, you know, what I've learned in politics, since I was kind of thrown into that, being an ex-
you dove in. You weren't thrown in by anybody.
I didn't think it mattered, right? Politics didn't matter. But I'll tell you one thing I noticed. When we get through all this, we get to this great place we're going.
Yeah, the Lord's kingdom.
There's going to be a complete, I don't care which party, but evil has popped up in both things. You got your crooked Republicans, Brian Kemp and Doug Ducey, that popped their heads up, all these people. But you know what? You take and you look at that. People are going to be put in that are appointed for the people, elected to.
Yeah, that is so right. I just prophesied that you were going to say that just now. And I usually, when I say I did something, yeah.
Help the people. Yes. Yeah, like our great president, Donald Trump, when I first met him,
exactly right, Andy.
One thing I knew right away, he had no agenda other than help the people. But there were common sense things. Here's a problem, here's a solution, but he knew what it would manifest to help the people. That's a gift. That's a God-given gift. And you put our politicians that are in place now, 90-some%. I met them on both sides. I met so many politicians, I don't even know my name. All of them. All of them, both sides, they have a political agenda or a personal agenda.
Really? Really? Unlike you?
And both of them are horrible. When you have...
Yeah, political and personal agendas are terrible, Mike. anybody who has a political or personal agenda, like trying to get their friend who they really believe is God's own operator on earth to be president again by manipulating policy and for political gain for their party and their belief system, both of those are awful.
You have two parties and you have this divide, and all of a sudden you can't be over here if you're a Christian, or you can't be over here if you're pro-life. You know, I mean, everything's just, well, what happened?
It is just, and sometimes it's.
We were all people. We're all God's people, and this is going to be.
Yeah, that's what Biden's actually been saying.
When we get through it, the greatest uniting of our country in history, and it'll be and that's why we are in the biggest revival ever. People don't look for God and Jesus unless things are going bad.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, what do you need God for if things are good? Why would you celebrate the beauty of the world when don't you? I mean, I don't know about you, but certainly Mike and these guys do. That if things are going all right, God who? You know what I mean? New soul, who dis?
Right. You think everybody was running around in December of 19 looking for hope? No, they're going, we're here. They're having a great old time.
You mean during Christmas?
You know.
Yeah. All right, let me bring in Mario before the break. Mario.
Yeah, you want to do that? I gotta go. I mean, this goes on for another hour. There's just no way I'm certainly not doing any of Mario's bullshit. So I think if we get anything from the Flashpoint Mike Lindell crowd is that to those guys, Jesus is for sale. That really, the commodity prices that Eric Trump was bitching about are really just another way of describing the message of Christ. At Flashpoint and from Mike Lindell, it's, there's frozen concentrated orange juice and the whatever Jesus said when he wasn't disagreeing with everything that I live for. So Trump couldn't even get an airplane off the ground? Yeah, especially now. Jesus for sale, get your fresh Jesus. Yeah, it reminds me of that Wet Teddy Bears ad that is on right now. But I want to be abundantly clear in terms of Lindell and all that. There's a reason why they attach this to religion the way they do, is because they want the auto, and it's not about the gullibility of Christians in general, because Christians in general are not on the side of this. They're part of the big middle that these assholes at Flashpoint largely ignore. That the snake handler and prophet window of evangelical Christians represents an even smaller slice of that. The reason that Mike Lindell and Gene the Jesus Machine and Hanky Cooney and Lanny Walnuts and all those guys circle the wagons around Christianity for the sake of their political message is it because if you attack it on its merits, like Mike Lindell was alluding to, you're really attacking Jesus. They know that other people who believe in Jesus or believe in the teachings of God in any form you are attacking religion just by attacking them. So it's the thing that, when they go after Fauci because the science hadn't caught up yet, and he's like, attacking me, you're really attacking just the science. They're doing that with religion. They're using that same accusation about religion. If you attack Mike Lindell's bullshit about the election, you're really going after Jesus. Hal, do you have to go to church to get to heaven? Always wanted that? No, because people are born, live, and die without ever being anywhere near a church. And why would you create a situation where people have to learn a specific lesson? You know full well they never came in contact with the gospel. So why would you punish everyone who lived or died because they never met a preacher that taught them the right thing, that was the magic keyword? It's just sales. Be a good person. Learn your values and your ethics from your own behavior. Reteach yourself all the time about what's right and what's good, and try to follow that as much as possible. And, do your best to harm no one. And if your focus is on that, I have to believe that, wherever you go after this, you're on the good side of it. I don't know. I can't think of a reason why, if I was God, to actually create hell, because I'd really only create the universe as a way of teaching souls. So you just keep going back, and you'd be good one life and bad the other. And then eventually you would sort of spiral your way up Nirvana-esque into a higher state of being where you understand what ignorance is. You understand what fear is. You understand what love is, and you make an active choice. Yeah. But these dudes are just straight up grifters. And I don't know, like half the time I'm like, Lindell's just a drug addict and a gullible idiot. And then the other half of the time, he's obviously got a business model with these folks. So I don't know if they're ticks on his dog or the other way around, but it's gross.